CHL has been taking a look at some of the Memorial Cups over the past decade, and 2010, yeah, that's right, a decade ago, it was in Brandon, Manitoba, and the Windsor Spitfires were able to go back-to-back, and an important member of that team is joining me now, Adam Henrique. Adam, how are you? And nice face fur there. Well done.
Thank you. It's you know what, I'm doing well. Just getting back home about a week ago, and been just working on the beard pretty much. That's about it during this whole stoppage.
Now you're with Anaheim, so what's the situation now with you? Just waiting for the call and waiting to find out?
Yeah, just waiting. You know what, we kind of just spent some time there after the season was paused to see kind of where things would fall into place and what would happen with everything. And now you know, we have clarification. We're not in the playoffs this year, so you know, we have at least have a timeline of you know, what next season would look like and when we would have to be back there. So can kind of plan around that, even though it's going to be you know, a really long time until we get back on the ice. But you know what, at least we have that timeline to go off of.
Let's take a look at the time you were on the ice with the Windsor Spitfires. I'm going to begin with 2009, and you guys were kind of ahead of the curve. We knew that you were building something good in Windsor, but you were, I guess, a year ahead, a lot of people thought, when you went to Rimouski and ended up coming with the Memorial Cup. What do you remember about that run in 2009? You took the long route, but you ended up hoisting the hardware at the end.
Yeah, that one, you know what, we, even back when I was drafted to Windsor, the game plan was for year 4 for us to win the championship. And going through, I think the 2007 draft, where we ended up getting Taylor Hall and Ryan Ellis, really put us ahead of, you know, where we were expected to be. Then, you know, going through that first year playoffs, getting the championship and going in, you know, everybody had us as the favorite in 2009, and we kind of stumbled out of the blocks in the tournament, you know, but found ourselves on the right page, and we battled back, went through the tiebreaker, semifinals, and finals, and got the win. So I think going through that experience in that tournament certainly put us in a much better position heading into the 2010 tournament, even though, you know, we kind of had a stumble in the West Finals against Kitchener. But once again, we got on that roll and kind of rolled into the tournament, and then you know, we just kept heading there. Nobody, you know, we kind of just rolled through the tournament, I guess, as well during that one. But I think the experience from 2009 was big for us then.
When you started the 9-10 season, was then the confidence high that you guys were going to repeat, or was there any concern at all about maybe a Memorial Cup hangover?
No, I don't think so. I think everybody, you know, our confidence right there again to go in and win. And I think right through with the coaching staff, Bob Bugner, DJ Smith, Bob Jones, those guys too. You know, we knew we had something special at the time, and we knew that there really wasn't any doubt in our minds that we could, you know, win another championship and give ourselves another shot at the Memorial Cup. So I think a few of the overage guys actually that we ended up getting back for different reasons, again, put us in another great spot for the season.
Well, and you take a look at the season too. That was the year of Taylor and Tyler. Remember, there was all that comparison too about whether it was going to be Taylor or Tyler leading in, and then Taylor comes up and rolls through with over 100 points and just basically established himself as the leader in the Ontario Hockey League. And perhaps we saw too that, you know, where he was going to play and how he was going to play when he made the next step. With the confidence that you had and watching him develop the way he played in 9, did he take a leadership role there, or was there somebody else who took it, or was it important because a lot of you guys that had a shared experience, you could all sort of lead?
Yeah, I think the teams we had there, we had so many leaders. And I think that, you know, maybe that took a little bit off of Taylor's shoulders, where, you know, he really didn't have to go into that leadership role as much as maybe he would have on another team that wasn't as good, and certainly leaned on him even more. And we certainly leaned on him to lead the way offensively for us. But I think with the group that we had there, it allowed him to just play free and just to go play hockey and do what he does best. And we had such a deep team, and then even at the trade deadline, we added much more depth to the roster, which certainly put us above. I think where, I don't know if many guys thought that we would be better than we were the year before, but we certainly felt that we did have a better team down the stretch and going through the playoffs.
Well, you talked about that team. We talked about leadership. I just wrote down this. These are the guys that were the top 7 or 8 in scoring: Hall, Shug, Nemish, Wellwood, Ellis. A guy named Henrique was in there too, and Fowler. So you had 2D and all those guys who'd been through it and had this shared experience. So, when we went into that season, everybody looked at you guys and went, "Whoa, this is a team that's learned how to win, knows how tough it is to be a champion." And then when you made your deals, everybody kind of shook your head and went, "Well, they're not fooling around," because you picked up a big body in Cassian, and then you made the nice deal with Belleville, getting a goaltender, Canton and Johnston, 2 veterans, and all of a sudden the more experienced team became even more experienced.
Yeah, getting, like you said, I guess we had those higher profile names there leading the way, but to add a guy like Mark Canton on the back end, a veteran guy that could just kind of silently lead the way, and then Cam Fowler too. He kind of, that entire year you just see him getting better and better. Then he just ended up being, maybe played his best hockey late in the playoffs and through that Memorial Cup, which just puts you so much further ahead. If you have that depth, you can just roll out four lines that can get you offensively, play tight defensively. That's a tough team to come through. And then adding, Philip Grubauer in the net just to tighten things up there. He ends up being the guy that we ran with late in the playoffs and through the tournament as well. Just, we were so solid, top to bottom, really. There was no holes in our lineup, line 1 to 4, our top defenseman to our bottom D. So, it was certainly a lot of fun to be a part of that team.
When you got on the plane to go to Brandon for that cup, were you confident? Were you cocky? As you said, you had a bit of a stumble against Kitchener, down 3-0, and had to come roaring back against them. Or did you realize that you'd learned something in that Kitchener series that you were taking with you on the plane and then that bus ride to Brandon?
Yeah, even it just seemed then we just needed to get that first win against them. And then we managed to get through Kitchener. And we had the, I guess, rivalry with Barrie that year.
Huge, yeah.
They seemed to just be stacking up with guys, had a great lineup. And then, we go through them and sweep them, which was certainly a great feeling for us. We had some battles with them during the season. And there were some other little things that kind of, lit the flame for us through that series. But going into Brandon, I think the biggest thing for us, we knew you just want to get that first win. Get that first win in that first game, and then you can kind of takes a lot of pressure off you. You're moving on. You can live to play another day. So I think it was important for us just to get that first win out of the way, and then everything else would kind of fall into place and go from there.
Well, that first game, what stands out in my mind, and I mentioned this when we took a look at the game too, was that early in the period when Travis Hamonic rode Taylor Hall into the boards. Now, if you recall at Brandon, they had that little stage at the end. I was standing there right at the boards when Taylor got crushed. And then when he stood up or tried to stand up, I swear I saw the little birds rotating around him. And I said in my headphone to the guys in the truck, I said, be careful, because I think Taylor's really hurt and he's done. And everybody went, oh, no. And then he got helped to the bench and wouldn't leave the bench. What did you guys think?
Well, I remember I was on the ice for that. I might have been behind that, and I just stopped playing because it looked so bad. First off, you want to just make sure he's okay. And certainly looked like he might have been done, for the tournament. You don't know that right then and there, but and then he stays on the bench, and we come out next shift. He puts one between his legs and scores a goal. And it was like from that moment on, I think that was it. There's no question in our minds that we were going to win that tournament. Especially playing Brandon the first game, the crowd is right into it. And then for something like that, a big hit to happen to your top player, that could easily put the momentum in their favor and turn the game. But he came right back that next shift and buried a goal, and it was kind of all she wrote after that.
And then your next game was against Calgary. You win that 6-3. The little one that maybe sent a bit of a shock might have been the game against Moncton that had to go to overtime. A little nervy there in that one when it stayed so close and you didn't dominate, or were you having a bit of a letdown?
You know what? I think for us, and again, you know what? We were in that position the year before. So yeah. I think our mindset going into that game was, listen, you have a chance to step on their throat and knock them out of the tournament. You have to do that. You don't want to give anybody life in those tournaments because that was us the year before, and we ended up coming back and winning. So, you know what? It was a tight game. Maybe there might have been a touch of a letdown on our play, but I think Eric Wellwood scored the overtime winner. So that was big just to have them out, and then for us to, obviously we're moving on to the finals and kind of have that long break. Which again, you could see that the year before with Kelowna, maybe that does play a bit of a factor. So we just kind of knew that we had to stay ready after that for whoever was going to win the semifinals.
Now, with the coaching triumvirate that you had with Bubner, Smith, and Jones, in a situation like that, do they all crack the whip, or was one nicer than the other, or because they'd lived through it the year before? Yeah, you knew what each one of them was going to provide.
Yeah, no, we were all so close by then. They certainly would just lead the way for us, but we had such so many guys on the team that would lead the way that everybody kind of knew what to expect or knew what we needed to do to be ready. So, we were just one real big family there. And those guys, for all 4 years I was there, just getting to learn from them, certainly a big reason why so many guys moved on and got to play in the NHL, from those two teams.
You got to the final against Brandon, and a lot of people thought that the Brandon win over Calgary was kind of their season too, because they had not performed well, and they knock out the Western Hockey League champions. You guys did not take your foot off the accelerator at all. You got into a groove early in that championship game and rode it. And there was really no denying you, was there?
No, that was, them being knocked out, I think, by Calgary in the playoffs. There's certainly got to be so many emotions for them playing them in the semifinals. It feels, almost like the championship game probably. So maybe there's a touch of a letdown after that. I don't know if they had, some goalie issues even before the tournament started, with regards to who was going to play and who wasn't going to play. And, we beat them handily in the first game. And then, to come back again, it was, there was really no denying us. And once we got that first goal and just kind of go from there and really just don't stop. And I think that was just a testament to the depth of our team.
All right. Going to take a look at some of the players on that team. Who was the goofiest player on that 2010 team? Then I've got a name here, but you tell me who it is.
It's got to be Dale Mitchell.
Yeah. Nailed it.
Yeah. There's no denying that. Yeah.
Now, was that the right kind of personality to have on that team?
Yeah, like he came in I guess we picked him up the year before too. Again, an older guy, has been around the league and has had success, his skill level. and we're down in the semifinals, I think, the year before, and he scores a hat trick to put us up, you know. And there's so many stories like that with guys on that team that, you know, at any time anybody could step up and be the guy that you know, we needed to lean on. And he was certainly one of those guys, but certainly kept it loose in the dressing room too. Maybe more than we needed to at times, but always fun to be around.
Had that cheesy mustache too.
Oh yeah.
Most serious player on that team.
Most serious, bro. Well, I don't know if he was on that team the year before, but Benny Shoutron would have been the most serious guy before. But on that team, probably Harry Young.
Yeah, that's what I wrote that down too. I thought, because he always looked like, you know, no wonder he's a good cop, because he always looks like he's ready, you know, to lay the law down. And I think that was the case too with that team. He was a great captain, terrific captain.
Well, that was, you know, guys like that, you know, he certainly probably gets lost in all the names, but a guy that fly under the radar as our, you know, our true leader, would step up at any time, fight anybody. You know, he'd always be there, be counted on. You know, he was really the kind of rock of the team there that, you know, when we needed a guy to step up, he'd be that guy.
Most superstitious on that team. Is there one that jumps out at you?
Well, I don't know if Halsey was too superstitious or not, but probably him or Justin Shug, I would say. Yeah. But I don't think too many guys on those teams were, you know, were overly superstitious, but maybe those two guys.
So there's nobody you had to stay away from on game day, or you know, tap him on the right side of his, you know, his right shin pad first, or nobody like that.
No, maybe the goalies too. You always kind of want to avoid the goalies. They're always a bit of a different breed. So, you know, and we certainly had a number of those guys throughout our time in Windsor.
You know, you go and you get 14 returnees, you make the trade, you're able to celebrate as a back-to-back Memorial Cup champion. Those are memories that really bond a team and individuals. How often do you get to touch base with these guys? I know a lot of them are in the NHL that you roll into and you're able to visit with before games or after games. Is it real tight-knit that you're able to stay in touch with them?
Yeah, I guess we just have a big group chat of all the guys on those teams, or certainly a big number of them. So it's always fun when the chat gets going, and somehow every time, you know, old memories pop up a lot from these two tournaments. And recently with them being on TV too, the guys were basically watching them and commentating them through a group chat, which was always a lot of fun. It's honestly like it was, you know, yesterday that we were there playing. And you know, I think for a number of players, if you ask if they've ever been on these kinds of teams, that that's what a lot of the guys would say. And that's kind of, you know, what really makes it special, just you know, how much we stay in touch with each other and kind of see where everybody is, and kind of any chance you get to meet up and to see how everybody's doing. It's always fun to see all the guys still.
What were you able to take, Adam, from that experience forward to your pro career?
You know, really just what's needed to win. You know, getting to learn from, you know, Bob and DJ and Warren and those guys who had played in the NHL for a long time, you know, really put us kind of ahead of the curve, or, you know, they taught us what was needed, not just to win, but, you know, to what's needed on a daily basis, how much hard work you have to put in, just to get better and to get to that next level. And you could see it with those teams. You know, we were terrible at my rookie year, but we worked hard. And that was the one thing that, you know, Bob and DJ had always kind of instilled in us, is that work ethic. You know, if you're going to be terrible, you got to work. And, you know, then your team gets better and better, and then the skill comes along with it, and the guys that we drafted, and then going through, you know, kind of the mishaps we had. We didn't lose those, you know, during those 2 years, but kind of, you know, stumbled a bit, and just to get over that hump and then learn what it really took to win and put us over the top was, you know, something I've always tried to carry along, my NHL career, and to make sure that I'm always ready.
2009, and then you followed it up in 2010. Certainly a remarkable achievement for the Windsor Spitfires, and I know you've got great memories from it. Best of luck going forward. I hope it's not a long time before you get to join your teammates and get back into regular season play. I want you to stay well, stay healthy, and maybe trim the beard before you get back on the ice again.
It's gonna be quite long if I leave it till December for next season. So, but no, thanks a lot for having me on. I hope all is well, and stay safe.
Adam Henrique of the Windsor Spitfires. He was a champion in 2009, champion in 2010, now with the Anaheim Ducks, and now waiting to go back to work, whenever that might be. Adam, thanks again. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.